Hello everyone. Once again, I welcome all of you to my online biology classes. So, in this class, we will start with the fourth lecture on human health and disease. So, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the types of immunity. Mainly, the immune response, the immunity is divided into two broad types. The first one is termed as innate immunity or natural immunity, while the second one is termed as acquired immunity or adaptive immunity. So, what is innate immunity? This is that type of immunity which is present in the body right from the time of birth. Okay, and what is acquired immunity? This is that type of immunity which is acquired by a particular individual during the course of his or her lifetime. Okay, while his body is exposed to a particular type of pathogen. Clear? So in the last lecture we had discussed about the innate immunity. In this class we are going to continue with the second type of immunity, that is the acquired or adaptive immunity. Clear? So what is the definition of acquired immunity? This is that type of immunity which is actually developed by an individual during his or her lifetime when his body is exposed to several types of foreign agents like microorganisms. That means this particular type of immunity, that is acquired immunity, is not present in the body of an individual from birth. Rather, he or she will develop or acquire the particular immunity in due course of time during his lifespan by exposure to different types of foreign pathogens. Okay. Now, it's important for you people to remember the fact that acquired immunity is not present in our body right from birth, while we acquire it during our lifetime. Okay. Now, there are several important characteristics or properties which is exhibited by the acquired immunity. So, the very first one is it is pathogen specific. That is the type of acquired immunity which will be developed in our body will actually depend on the type of pathogen which will be encountered by our body. Okay, that means this type of immunity, that is the acquired immunity, is very much specific. Okay, for the different types of pathogen which are encountered by our bodies. Next, it is characterized by memory. That is the acquired immunity actually helps in the production of cells which do have memory, which in turn helps us to get a very fast and prompt immune response when a particular pathogen is encountered by our body for the second time. Okay. The next property is this type of immunity, that is the acquired or the adaptive immunity, is also characterized by the production of specialized type of immune cells, okay, like B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, which in turn are very much specific for the different types of pathogens which are encountered by our body, in response to which the acquired immunity is developed. Okay, so now let us have a look at the definition and function of the important immune cells which comes under the acquired immunity. So the immune responses which are being carried out with the help of different types of lymphocytes, okay, out of them the two most important ones are the B lymphocytes and the T lymphocytes. So these two are the main type of lymphocytes which are formed during the acquired immune response. Okay, and what are these? B lymphocytes are nothing but the white blood cells termed as B cells. Why they are termed as B lymphocytes? Because they are produced and developed in the bone marrow of the human beings, while they are produced in a organ termed as bursa of fabricius in case of the birds, from where actually they have acquired the name B lymphocytes. In case of human beings or in case of mammals, they are actually produced and developed or get matured in the bone marrow, and so they are termed as B lymphocytes. Clear? Now, the B lymphocytes can be broadly divided into two types. The first one is termed as uh, plasma B cells, and the second one is termed as memory B cells. Now, the specialized type of B cells or B lymphocytes, which are termed as plasma uh, cells, these are actually those B lymphocytes which are involved in the production of the specialized chemicals termed as antibodies or immunoglobulins, which in turn have their response against the various types of pathogens, and they fight against them until they ward them off from our body. Clear? While the memory B cells help in keeping the memory of the different types of pathogens which are encountered by our body, and if this particular pathogen is encountered by a particular individual's body for the next time or for the second time, then this type of memory B cells help to um, develop a very prompt and a very fast type of response, with the help of which our body is protected at a very initial or very less concentration of infected organisms. Okay, while the second type is termed as the T lymphocytes. So these lymphocytes are also produced or formed in the bone marrow, while they get developed or they attain maturity in the thymus gland of our body, from where they get the name T cells. Okay, the T cells themselves actually do not produce any antibodies, but their main function is that they help the B cells to produce antibodies, and also they attack the different types of infected cells which are present in our body, which in turn are affected or infected by the different types of pathogens. Now, the T lymphocytes are also divided broadly into two types. The first one is helper T cell or helper T lymphocyte, and the second one is cytotoxic T lymphocytes or cytotoxic T cells. So, what is the function of helper T cells? These are those T cells which help the B cells and the other types of immune cells to get activated, okay, against the different types of pathogens, while the cytotoxic T cells actually help to kill the various type of infected cells of our body. Clear? If in case a particular cell of our body is infected by a virus or any other type of pathogen, okay, or any type of cancerous cells are there present in our body, so those infected cells should be killed or destroyed, otherwise they might infect the other healthy cells of our body. And who performs these reactions? This killing of the infected cells of our body is done by the cytotoxic T cells. Okay, now here's a diagram where you can see that the B cells, they actually help to attack the invaders outside the cell. That is, in case of some bacteria or some other pathogens which actually attack the cells from outside but they don't go inside the cells, so such type of infection or attack is handled by the B cells by the production of antibodies, while the T cells actually attack and destroys the infected cells like the virus infected cells or the different types of cancerous or tumorous cells of our body. Clear? Now, let us move to the next topic, which is a very important one, the types of acquired immunity. So, the acquired immunity can be divided again into two types. The first one is humoral immunity or antibody mediated immunity, okay, that is HI or AMI, while the second one is termed as cell mediated immunity or CMI. Now, what is humoral or antibody mediated immunity? As the name suggests, this type of immunity is mediated by the chemicals termed as antibodies, which are present by the plasma B cells, okay, and these antibodies are generally present in the body fluids of the individual's body. Clear? Now, this type of immunity actually helps to kill or attack the different types of pathogens which attack our body from outside or which are actually present in the bloodstream or the uh, body fluids of our body. Okay, while the cell mediated immunity is mediated by the mainly by the T lymphocytes, and it protects against the different types of infected cells like virus infected cells or the tumorous or cancerous cells. Okay, and the humoral immunity actually is mediated by the B lymphocytes. How? Because the B lymphocytes actually help in the production of antibodies, and the antibodies in turn help to mediate this particular type of immunity, and so it is also termed as antibody mediated immunity. While in case of the CMI or the cell mediated immunity, this is that type of immunity which is actually performed or mediated by the T cells. Okay, and as they attack the infected cells of our body, and by killing those infected or destroying those infected cells of our body, they actually perform their function, so they are termed as cell mediated immunity. Clear? Now here's a picture with the help of which the concept will be more clear to you. Now see, the adaptive immunity or the acquired immunity can be divided into two types, that is humoral immunity and cell mediated immunity, as we have already studied here. Now the humoral immunity, the difference between these two are the humoral immunity is mediated by the B cells, while the cell mediated immunity is performed by the T cells or the T lymphocytes, while the humoral immunity is performed by the production of antibodies, whereas no antibody production is observed in case of the cell mediated immunity. Here what happens, the extracellular microbes, that is those microbes which attack our body from outside of the cells, that is they don't get entered into any cell, they just are present in our body fluids, for example in the bloodstream, and from where they can attack the different parts of our body, right? So this type of microbes or pathogens are termed as the extracellular pathogens, and here in this case the B lymphocytes come into action and they produce the specialized chemicals termed as antibodies, and these antibodies actually help in the elimination of the microbes. So as this type of immunity is mediated by the production of antibodies, so it is also termed as antibody mediated immunity. Clear? And here in this case what happens, um, the different types of cells, like for example the T cells actually mediate this type of immunity, and here you can see that the phagocytosed microbes in macrophage, like if the different types of cells like macrophages have phagocytosed a particular type of microbe, then the T cell will help this type of macrophage to intensify the process of destruction of those intracellular microbes, and you can see here activation of macrophage has taken place with the help of T cell, that is when T cell gets attached to this type of macrophage, this macrophage gets activated, and then what happens, the activated macrophage releases different types of enzymes, hydrolytic enzymes, with the help of which this type is intracellular microbes are destroyed and killed and warded off from the body. So activation of macrophage which leads to the microbial killing, and who activates this macrophage? It is the T cell. So here you can see that the cell mediated immunity is mediated by the mainly by the T cell. Clear? Next, you can see the T cell itself release different types of cytokines. This cytokines in turn can help to activate some other types of immune responses, leading to the killing and destruction of the different types of pathogens. Also, the T cells themselves, that is the cytotoxic T cells themselves, can be activated by the helper T cells, and they in turn can directly get attached to the infected cells, and they can kill those infected cells and remove them from our body. So in this way, as this type of immunity is mediated by the T cell, and they act against the different types of infected cells like virus infected cells or the tumorous or cancerous cells of our body, so this type of immunity is termed as the cell mediated immunity, that is the immunity which is mediated through the different types of immune cells. Clear? Let us now move to the next types of acquired immunity. So the acquired immunity can again be divided into two more types, that is active immunity and passive immunity, based on the production of antibodies by the individual's own body in or by giving that particular individual ready-made antibodies from any other animal or individual. Okay, so based on that, the acquired immunity or the adaptive immunity can again be divided into two types, active immunity and passive immunity. Now let us have a look what are these. So active immunity is the type of immune response or is the type of immunity which is provided by an individual's own immune system, okay, when that particular um, individual's body is exposed to a harmful or a foreign pathogen. Okay, so that means what? Whenever a foreign pathogen attacks a particular individual's body, then the type of immune response which is um, formed or developed in response to that attack is termed as active immunity. Okay, while what is passive immunity? It is the condition or it is the type of immunity when ready made antibodies are directly given to the body of a particular individual in concern to protect him or her against the different types of foreign pathogens. So what is the main difference between these two? In case of active immunity, what happens? The antibodies are produced by or within the body of that particular individual in concern. Okay, while in case of the passive immunity, what happens? Ready-made antibodies from any other individual or any animal is injected into a individual's body to fight against those foreign pathogens. Okay, so here you can see that the flowchart is given where the acquired or the adaptive immunity is broadly divided into two main types, the active immunity and the passive immunity. So what is active immunity? It is the individual's own immune system where the immunity is conferred by that particular individual's body itself. How? By the production of antibodies within his or her own body in response to the exposure of a harmful foreign pathogen. Okay, while in case of passive immunity, it is that type of immunity which is transferred or which is conferred from by an individual from another person or individual. That is, here what happens, the antibodies are first extracted from a particular person or an animal, and then what happens, these antibodies are processed and then they are injected into the body of some different person in concern who is actually in need of those particular antibodies and who is not actually able to produce those kind of antibodies. So this is termed as passive immunity. Now both of the active and passive immunity can again be divided into the natural and artificial types. In case of the active immunity, what is the natural active immunity? Here what happens, the antigens are introduced through natural exposure. That is, here, a particular individual is exposed to the different types of antigens or foreign pathogens through natural exposure, while in case of artificial active immunity, what happens? The antigens are deliberately introduced uh, in the form of a vaccine so that the particular individual can form specific antibodies against those particular foreign pathogen. Clear? While in case of the natural passive immunity, what happens? The antibodies or the ready-made antibodies are actually uh, transferred from the body of one individual to the body of another individual naturally. For example, when the antibodies produced by a pregnant mother are transferred to her child across the placenta or through milk, this type is termed as natural passive immunity, because here the antibodies are passed from the body of one individual to the other, that is, the ready made antibodies are passed from the body of one individual to the other naturally. Okay, while in case of the artificial passive immunity, what happens, the antibodies which are produced by another person or animal are injected into the body of the individual in concern. Okay, so please try to remember this topic is very important. It's the difference between active and passive immunity comes quite often in your exams. Okay, now let us move to the next topic about what is antibody. So antibodies are nothing but they are the important proteins or high molecular weight proteins, okay, which are normally produced by the specialized immune cells termed as the plasma cells, which are a type of B cells or B lymphocytes after they are stimulated by an antigen or a foreign pathogen. Okay, so antibodies are nothing but some proteins of which have high molecular weight, and they are generally produced by the specialized plasma cells or specialized B lymphocytes, okay, called as plasma cells after they are being stimulated by a foreign pathogen or a foreign antigen. Now, this is the structure of an antibody, general structure of an antibody, which is Y-shaped in nature, okay, and it has the different antigen binding sites. So this is one antigen binding site, and this is the other antigen binding site where the foreign pathogens or antigens are actually uh, bind, okay, and then the antibodies perform the different types of immune response against those particular antigens. Clear? Now we will discuss about the antibody classification. So the antibodies are also termed as immunoglobulins, okay, and generally there are five types of immunoglobulins which are produced in our bodies, and they are named as IgA, IgM, IgE, IgD, and IgG. So these are actually named based on the presence or the difference of the heavy chains present in them. So what are heavy chains we will discuss in the next slide. For the time being, just have an idea about the different types of antibodies. So the in case of IgA, the heavy chain actually has alpha type of proteins, okay, while in case of IgM it is mu type, it's IgE it's epsilon type, in IgD it's delta type, and in case of IgG the protein or the peptide chain is of gamma type, okay, or it contains of the gamma chains. Now, let us just have a brief idea about the functions and structures. So, this is the IgG type. It's a Y-shaped molecule. You can see IgE is also Y-shaped one. IgD is again a Y-shaped one. Okay, these are the monomeric units. While in case of IgM, it is a pentameric unit where you can see five Y-shaped molecules are joined together to form a complete IgM molecule. So you can see this one is one monomer, 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are connected here with the help of disulfide bonds and joining chains, okay, and this is an entire molecule of IgM. So it is the heaviest or the largest type of immunoglobulin present in our body, and this one is the IgA type. It is a dimer where you can see the two Y molecules are there, okay, or two monomeric units are joined here with the help of a J chain or a joining chain, okay. So this is the type of IgA. So what is the function of IgG? It is the most important type of antibody which is present in our um, body fluids, and it refers to about 85% of the total amount of antibodies which are present in our blood, and it is the main one which acts against the different types of pathogens which is encountered by our body. What is IgE? It is the type of antibody which is produced and which actually attacks the different types of uh, helminthic parasites, that is the parasitic worms, and also the IgE is involved in the different types of allergic or inflammatory reactions. Okay, what is the function of IgD? It actually acts as the receptor of the B cells, which remains attached to the B cells and acts as the B cell receptors, and also they help in the activation of the different types of B cells. Okay, what is the function of IgM? IgM is also a very important one, and it is the first type of antibodies which are produced in response to a particular type of infection. And what is IgA? IgA is the type of antibodies which is generally present in the body fluids or the different types of secretions of the body, like the milk, the tears, the and the other types of body secretions. IgG is a very important one because it is having a very unique property where the IgG can easily pass or like cross the placenta, and it can pass from the mother to the child, where it can protect the baby from any type of foreign pathogens. Okay. Now, let us have a look at the molecular structure of antibody. It is also a very important one. So, very important topic. So, the molecular structure of antibody is a, like, the antibody generally looks like a Y-shaped structure, and each antibody has 4 peptide chains. So, here you can see that it consists of 4 peptide chains, that is 4 protein chains. Okay, 1, 2, okay, 3, and 4. Okay, this one, that means 4 peptide chains are present in a antibody, and out of this, 2 are heavy chains and 2 are light chains. That means this one and this one, these 2 are the light chains because they have low molecular weight, that is they are lightweight, and so they are termed as light chains, while this one and this one, so these 2 peptide chains are heavy chains. Why? Because they have high molecular weight, or they are larger peptide chains, and so they're heavy, and so they're termed as heavy chains. So it's a Y-shaped structure consisting of 4 peptide chains, out of which 2 are long chains termed as heavy chains and 2 are short chains termed as light chains. Now, 2 long chains are called heavy chains and 2 short chains are called light chains, already I have discussed, and hence the antibody is represented as H2L2, that is the molecular formula is H2L2. Why? Because 2 heavy chains, that is H2, and 2 light chains, that is L2. So it is represented as H2L2 molecular structure. And you can see this is a Y-shaped structure, and these are the disulfide bonds. Okay, these are the disulfide bonds. That means the entire molecular structure of antibody is stabilized with the help of disulfide bonds at different sites. And this is the antigen binding site, and this is the antigen binding site. So you can see that in a typical or a generalized structure of a antibody, there are 2 antigen binding sites, that is there are 2 pathogen or antigen binding sites per antibody molecule. Okay. So this is all about the structure of or molecular structure of antibody. It is very important from an exam point of view, and the diagram is also very important. So try to remember this diagram and also the structure. Okay. So that's all for today's class. We will be continuing in the next lecture. Till then, study well, and thank you everyone for listening to my class.